All right, so we all love the Colorado Avalanche, but every once in a while they get some guys that we're just not fond of. So let's talk about them on a new episode of Locked On Avalanche. Coming at you.
You're Locked On Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Locked On Avalanche podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Chris Maselli. Thank you for tuning in and making this your first listen of the day. That's always appreciated. If you want to get in on the conversation, then join our subtext. Link is in the show notes below. You chat with me one-on-one and get your opinion, everything Avalanche related, and share it on this very podcast. It is Monday, and it's another Monday in August, where Brennan Vogt has been joining us all month long. So here he is again. How has your week been, sir? Thank you for joining once again.
It's a long week at the rink.
Yeah.
As
Doing
usual.
a lot. Yeah. I mean, it's but it's a long drawn out, another long drawn out week, but this is it for August. Like, we can get through this week and we have reached September, and that's it. Then we can start getting a little bit more excited. So we're almost there. We're clawing through the sand slowly.
This close.
So what we're going to do today is the front office confidence ratings at The Athletic did the poll for. The results for those are out. I recorded a show last week, but I had to remove it because something happened with the audio. So unfortunately, I was not able to keep that up. So it was up for like 3 hours. So if you were able to listen to it in those 3 hours, you might hear it again. So it's going to be towards the end of this episode. Erik Johnson, Brennan has a new article up about EJ. So we're going to talk about what's going on with EJ. But where we're going to start, like I said, we've been doing kind of top 5 things. We did the top 5 Avs players. I posted on social media like their depth, the top 5 depth guys. And somebody else on subtext, I think it was Adam. Yeah, it was Adam over on subtext threw out, why don't we do like top 5 most disliked players for the Avs? I was like, all right, that could be a fun conversation. And I don't think he did either, but I don't use the term like hate. I don't like using the term hate because they're human beings with feelings, and I'm not a person that wants to hate anybody. I mean, there are rare exceptions.
Yes.
I'm sure you have your rare exceptions as well, but I don't like throwing the term around. Hey, dislike is what we're going to say, or maybe like not a good fit could be maybe even a different phrase if you want to use that one.
Yeah.
What would you use here for this?
Strongly dislike.
Strongly dislike. Okay, you throw the strongly in there. Okay, so again, probably really nice guys. But just what they offered on the ice, maybe not my favorite. Although we'll start here. We'll just kind of go through our top 5. I'll throw my number 5 out here first because I'm sure he's at the top of so many people's lists, and maybe even yours. And that is Matt Duchene. And this is not to say like I'm over the like disliking and booing Duchene. Like I'm not about that. But I think, you know, what he did, I think will forever sting and will forever be hung over his head from Avalanche fans. And while I've like let it go to that, like I don't, when I watch him, I don't always go back to like everything that, because so much time has passed. But it's still hanging around enough for me to like, you're always going to be on the top 5 list of whenever we do things like this, just like that. So he's 5 for me. I'm not going to put him at number 1 because number 1 for me is a no brainer, but I'll throw him at 5.
Yeah. I'd have to actually agree with you on that one. He kind of redeemed himself when I got the chance to actually interview him when he was with Nashville. Mm-hmm. And I interviewed him in 2022, and I think it was actually his first. No, it wasn't his first time because he played with Ottawa, but yeah, just the whole training camp, the way he handled that training camp, the year he got traded, and I'm here to honor my contract, and I'm just here to do what I need to do. And yeah,
Was it like a I'm here so I don't get fined moment?
yeah,
Right.
it was one of those type of things that I can't remember the exact verbiage he used, but I remember the term or the phrase, "I am here to honor my contract." And then I can't remember what he said after that, but I remember seeing that on the news, and I almost wanted to punch the TV at that point. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Your teammates you're letting down.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So, and then I got a chance to talk to him when he was with Nashville, and he's actually a very good dude. He seems to have matured a lot since then.
Oh yeah.
And we're talking that this was a kid in his late 20s, didn't really know how to handle the situation. He was definitely unhappy. And then he was just a family man. When I talked to him, we both had kids at the approximately the same age. So
Mhm.
we got to talking about what our kids' favorite shows were. So
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think enough time has passed. He's played on so many teams
since then,
since then. So it's just like I don't hold the grudge, but the way that he went about it, I like that part of it. I think will just always linger for most Avs fans, and though so many will put him right at number 1 on this list. So that's why I have him at number 5. Is that where you put him? Was number 5, or did you even have him on your? You have him at 5 too. Okay, all right, perfect. So yeah, I think we're kind of in agreement there. While we can forgive but maybe not forget, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, it's like the well, no. If we're going off Avalanche, it's like those you can't forget some players, and
Right.
you just always boo them. But
Yeah, right.
last name starts with a B.
Yeah. Who you got for number 4? Who's number 4 on your list?
Let's see. Number 4, I'd say Galchenyuk.
I mean, he wasn't here for very long, right? But still, it was tumultuous to say the least.
He was also in Loveland, though. I mean, he was okay
That's
in
true.
Loveland.
Think about that. Yeah. Yeah.
And he was. I think about how he may have handled himself off ice. Now that
That's
you
the big
know,
one. Yep.
now that you know about everything.
Mhm.
With the what was it, the Tucson police?
I don't remember where it was, but
Yeah.
it wasn't in Colorado, but I thought it was out west, either Arizona or California or something like that. Yeah.
So it makes you think. It's like, okay, how was he actually handling himself off ice when he was here? He was not improving when he was with Colorado, or with the Avalanche, to be more specific.
Mm-hmm.
He was okay when he was with the Eagles, but
that's a tough one.
Good vibes from him.
That's a tough one, sure. For my number 4, again, like I think this is someone who is a really good guy off the ice, but just on it, just clearly was not a fit, and that's Ryan Johansen. And it's a little bit tough to put him on here because I feel like he is just could have a beer with the guy type of guy.
Yeah.
But when he was acquired, I remember Kyle and I were pretty excited about that. That was the whole like middle of the 2C era, and we need to solve that. And you felt pretty good about him, or at least I did, about what he could do with the Avs, and it just did not work out. It was just a disaster almost from the beginning. And then there was a moment where didn't he score like 2 goals in a game, like a little bit later into his tenure with the Avs, before he was finally traded, and you were like, oh, you want that to be the turning point, and it wasn't.
No,
it just wasn't. And that, I hate putting him on a list like this. That's why I want to say, like, I don't use the term hate because I don't hate Ryan Johansen. It just was not a fit at all. So I just disliked the fit there, and I disliked how his production just was just not there.
And I heard the chemistry in the locker room was not there at all. He and McKinnon
Really?
didn't. Yeah, I heard that he and McKinnon didn't get along, and if you don't get along with McKinnon,
you're
bye.
out. You are out. You are out. No doubt about it. Who you got for number 3 on your list?
Georgiev.
So do I. So do
Okay.
I. I had him at number 2, but I switched 2 and 3. But yeah, Georgie's just kind of the same thing. Like with Johansen, like seems like a nice guy. Like his interviews, like he's always just down in his interviews. Seems just like a docile guy. But I think maybe that was part of. I mean, he just never got his confidence back here. And the first year he came here, had a pretty good season his first year with the Avs. And I think that was like he wanted to prove to everybody that he was a number 1 guy. And you were not going to be that in New York once Shesterkin beat you out. And then you come here and start off okay, and then it just fell off a cliff. Sure, you had moments. Sure.
Yeah, and you got a chance to watch him more being a Rangers fan.
Yeah, I did. But once Shesterkin took it, I mean, they were doing the 3-headed monster for a little while when Henrik was still there too. So initially people thought Georgiev was going to be the one to win that starting role. And then Shesterkin kind of just, I don't want to say came out of nowhere, but maybe his play did. Like the way that he played was like, oh yeah, there's no doubt about this. Where Georgiev was more like up and down, and where Shesterkin just stole it right out from him, and they weren't going to keep him around. But so Georgiev kind of was like, I'll go somewhere and I can be the guy. Watching him in New York, I remember when they acquired him, Kyle and I were doing an episode, and I'm like, that's not a guy I'd throw my hat in to be our number 1 guy. It's not. But I was gonna give him a chance, and in year 1 he proved me wrong. In year 1, and I was kind of feeling pretty good about it, and then it just went south.
To me, it seemed kind of apparent right away that he had some kind of blind spot from the blue line, but that was just me. And then it, like you said, it just went downhill from there. So
just the inconsistencies.
Just too many inconsistencies, and he just didn't. The fact that Frankie was backing him up the first year, and I really liked Frankie, but everyone did. So
right,
I couldn't get on to liking Georgiev.
I think like for like maybe not Duchene, but for Ryan Johansen and Georgiev, like when those moves were made where they were finally dealt, like you felt good about it. Like you felt good, like okay, like those are moves that needed to happen. Where like Duchene, like you didn't want him to leave, but he was going to. Same thing with like Mikko, you didn't want him to leave, but it's just
he's going to.
But with Georgiev and Johansen, it's like it's the team is better because of it.
Yeah.
So number 2, I kind of just tipped my hand there. My number 2 is I have Curtis McDermid for my number 2. Another guy who you could go out and maybe have several beers with.
Oh, and that's the thing. And drop the Stanley Cup.
And drop the Stanley Cup falling backwards. And that's the thing about him. Like, yeah, he has funny moments like that, but that doesn't take away from what he was on the ice, which was just next to nothing. Next to nothing. Like he just did not fit the mold of this team. And I'm surprised he lasted as long as he did with this club, because he brought you nothing. He didn't bring you speed. Clearly, he didn't bring you point production. I know he's a defenseman, but sometimes they put him on as a forward, if you remember.
To get the grit and the heaviness on the ice, but
he'd give you that sometimes, but not a ton.
No,
I don't know. To me, Curtis McDermid was just he was a goofball off the ice and good for a laugh. But on it, I was concerned every minute he was on it.
Well, but see, my argument is that going to as many practices as I did, I got to see how much work he put in.
He did. I will grant him that.
He was the first on the ice and the last on the ice. He was always out there 20 to 30 minutes early, and he was always out there 20 to 30 minutes late, if not longer, to try and improve himself. And then that whole summer after the Stanley Cup, he was out there in July.
Yeah. Hey,
And
I love that. I love hearing that stuff. I give him credit
exactly.
for that. Yeah.
So, it's not like he took a very long break. He took 3 or 4 weeks off, and then he was back at it again. And I even told him, it's like, hey man, your skating improved. And he happened to be standing next to McDonald when when I said this, and he's like, are you sure it wasn't him? And I'm like, no, I am positive it was you, dude.
Yeah. I don't know. You saying that, like I said, I appreciate that, but I just feel like no matter how much work he did, like it just was not going to mesh with the style of this team. He's just too clunky. He's just too big of a dude. He's not a Brent Burns. You know what I mean? Like
nobody's a Brent Burns. Come on.
Well, hey, but Burns is a big dude that can move. And McDermid just is not that. It just was not a fit. Love you, Curtis, and you're hilarious, but wasn't a fit. Who's your number 2?
Everybody who's listened to the Mile High Hockey podcast is gonna know Miles Wood.
He soured on a lot of people as this couple years went on. Why is that?
I just felt like whenever he was out there, he wasn't productive. The guy could skate fast, but he wasn't doing much, and he was just a waste of, what was it, the $4 million or whatever on the cap, and
he was 2.5 on the cap. He was low. He was low.
2.5, but I felt like when he was out there, he just wasn't doing much.
Yeah, I can't fault you there. I cannot, but it's like, do I dislike? I mean, I'm with you. Obviously, he didn't crack my top 5. But another one where it's like, when the deal was made, it's like, it's a deal that needed to be made.
Yeah.
Which is odd, because like you said, like he is a fast guy, puts in like 110% of effort. But sometimes he just, overextends himself, and that was doing too much is a bad thing. And it caught up to him a lot. So, all right, we got one more to go. Let's get our break in here. We'll hold off on who our number 1s are, and then people from Subtext chimed in on this as well. So we will get our first break in, and who is our number 1 most disliked player? We'll do that right after this. Let's hear from Game Time. College football is back, and honestly, there's nothing better than the energy of tailgates and being in the stands with your fellow fans. The only downside, trying to get tickets, endless queues, hidden fees, and prices that jump at checkout. That's why you got to use Game Time, the app that gives the advantage back to the fans. And it's the easiest way to score last-minute tickets at the best prices with no surprise fees. And what you see is what you pay. So take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. So again, create an account, use that promo code LOCKEDONNHL, LOCKEDON NHL for $20 off your first purchase. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today. All right, we got one more to go here on the most disliked Avs player. Who do you have as your number 1?
Steve Downie.
Why is that? Well, okay. Not on my top 5, but go ahead.
His off-ice antics.
Yeah.
A bunch of rumors that flew around why he was traded. We won't go into why.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I get practice like you play, but don't take out the captain when you practice. Don't lay out the captain when you practice. And then he was like, kind of like in what you were saying, he's kind of like McDermid while you're out there. What's he doing? Not much.
Yeah. I wanted to look up his stats because I don't remember them being much.
He was one of those, like, I'm surprised he's still in the NHL type players. And then after the whole Akeem Alou got the like
Yep.
after the whole story broke about him, it's like, oh my god, I hate him even more.
Yeah. No, I
Because
get
all
that.
that stuff had to do with Steve Downie and juniors, and
Right.
it's just like, wow, he is not a very nice person at all.
It doesn't seem that way, right?
No.
And the tenure with the Avs, 3 seasons technically, but did not play. Only 20 games in 11 and 12, 2 games in 12 and 13, and then 11 and 13, 14 before he got moved to Philly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and this isn't really about, stats for him. It goes way beyond. Yeah, this is kind of like you said. This goes to off ice stuff, which I totally understand. And in kind of a similar way, who I have at number 1. This is on ice, but what Downie was doing off the ice is you're a professional athlete. So you need to, you're being watched all the time on ice and off the ice, and what you say is, critiqued, and that's true for him, and it's true for who I have at number 1, and that's Brad May. The fact that Brad May, so on the ice, well, I mean, I guess off the ice, he puts a bounty on Steve Moore, because that whole situation with Steve Moore, and then it's Bertuzzi who goes and does what he does. We all know, and that ended Moore's career. But it was Brad May, who was playing for the Canucks at the time, who said, like, we're going to go after him. I'm going to put a bounty on his head. Whoever wants to go after him. Bertuzzi answers the bell, and Moore's days are over. And then the Avalanche go and sign this guy and bring him in.
Yeah, that was a bad move on the Avalanche part, but
it was like so I love how, like, who we both have at number 1 is kind of for the same reasons.
Yeah,
kind of for the same reason. And it's odd that, who at my number 1 you don't have in your top 5, and who you have at number 1 you don't have in your top 5, but we're on the same page of why they're at number 1 for us.
Yeah,
it's because of their actions, like kind of what they're saying off the ice, and then what they did on the ice is just not okay. And I cannot for the life of me understand I'll never understand why the Avalanche said, knowing how that went down and how horrible that was, say, we're going to bring him in, and he's going to be part of our team. Never, ever made any sense to me. I don't know.
Me neither.
Yep. So let me get to some subtext people here, because we had let's see, this is Madam Battleaxe. So she gave us 4. She's got at number 4, Ryan O'Reilly. She said, I like him. I just hated the exit.
Yeah, I can see it.
She's got Mikko at 3. Mikko rented in at 3. And then she
recency
said,
bias maybe on that one.
Still fresh wounds is what she said. Number 2, Matt Duchene, said he's still a jerk. Okay. And number one, Val Nichushkin. There's still a lot for him to make up.
He's still on the team.
With me. That's what she says. There is still a lot for him to make up for with me.
Okay. I can see it.
I
but
get it.
Yes, I get it. The guy is still playing in the Av sweater.
I mean, if we did this last offseason, going into the season where he's going to be suspended for a little bit, you might have him on more lists.
Oh yeah,
you might.
I could see it.
You might. Let's see. So Vargar, he's got. I think he's going top to bottom. So I think he's got Claude Lemieux at number 4. Actually, he's got Matt Duchene at 5 and Matt Duchene at 1. So he put Duchene on there twice. So he's got Claude Lemieux at 4, Miles Wood at 3, Ryan Johansen at 2, and then Duchene at 1. So Claude Lemieux.
I don't think Claude Lemieux is part of the reason why I started getting into hockey as much as I got into hockey.
I mean, if no Claude Lemieux, you might not have a Detroit Avalanche rivalry.
Exactly.
And maybe that's why he doesn't like him. Maybe he didn't like how far that rivalry went.
we could debate the whole face wash with Adam Foote maybe part of it, but that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah. Brandon has two guys on the list, Matt Duchene and Mikko Rantanen. So see how I'm saying, like if we did this last year, I think Val would be on more lists. The Mikko thing is fresh.
Yeah.
So I think you're seeing, and I don't blame Mikko. It's not Mikko's fault. I don't dislike Mikko at all. Wasn't his fault why that all went down, but maybe should I not say that because you're hearing things from Joe Sakic like they know where they were they know where they were at or something like that.
Yeah, they knew where they wanted. They had a target for where they wanted to reach, and of course, Mikko is like, this is how much I want to make, which is valid.
Yeah,
and by going to Dallas, he made $3 million more without the tax. So.
Right. Oh, I don't know. Adam has, let's see. So he's the one that started this whole thing. He's got honorable mentions. He's got Ryan O'Reilly and Val as honorable mentions. At 5, he's got Matt Duchene. At 4, he's got Mikko. I'm going to skip number 3 because number 3 hasn't been mentioned yet. So we'll go back to that. But at 2, he's got Brad May. And at 1, he's got Duchene. At 3, he's got Patrick Waugh. And he says, as a coach, not as a player.
Yeah.
Fair game. Fair game.
And me and my wife were actually talking about this. She's like, you want to make a splash. Talk about Waugh. And I was like, oh, come on. It's like, yes, leaving the team 3 weeks before the season starts. But he was a fantastic player. Come on.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you have to put the asterisk in there of you dislike what he did as a coach and the way he left. Totally understandable. Totally understandable. So, and then there's another our other Adam put Duchene in there. Rantanen, he put him in there too. I don't know. See, it seems like most people are in agreement, but I can't put Mikko in there yet.
No,
I like the guy too much, but I'm trying to think. I mean, if we did off ice people, I think you'd have Chris McFarland on some lists right now too, unfairly. So, all right, that's ours. That's people on subtext. I'm sure if there's some other people out there, some other former Avs that for whatever reason you didn't like, throw it up in the comments section. Would love to know. All right, let's get one more break in here. We'll probably push the front office confidence things back, and we'll just get to the EJ stuff, and we'll do that next, and then we'll wrap things up. All right, so Erik Johnson, what's going on with EJ? Like I said, Brennan has a new article up. Take a look at that, and just kind of. Hey, what could be in the cards for Erik Johnson? Like, does he still want to play somewhere? Are we just heading down the road of retirement? What do you think? What's going on?
Well, he's been practicing with the guys on the informal skates, so I think he still wants to play, but he's going to be one of those guys that you're going to have to like pry out of the locker room and like literally. Cold dead fingers.
He's like hanging onto the door jamb.
Don't let me go. Don't let me go. Right. And it also helps the fact that he lives in the area still and it has a home here, so that probably helps. But I think that because the Avs are at 23 of 23 contracts, he unfortunately is done with the Avalanche, at least for this year. Unless they trade for him later in the season, like they did last year, he's done. If he gets like a league min to like a $1.5 million contract somewhere else, we may have seen the last of EJ. And I think we may have seen a glimpse of what that was last night with the alumni game. Because he did the broadcasting with Connor McGahey. Right. Now I know that he did like a broadcasting program when former players they prep themselves to try and do broadcasting and things like that after they leave the league.
Right.
Chris Wagner did something very similar with Kevin McGlew during the AHL on one of the nights he got scratched.
Mm-hmm.
So this could be what we may be seeing, kind of like what Eric Lacroix did. What was it, 3 years ago?
Eric did more like in studio stuff, and I think that would be where EJ would have to go, because like the altitude broadcast is pretty much set.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's no real room for him. They added Lyles to the everyday broadcast team. Although I don't know if he's on like for away games. I don't know if he's going to be a part of that.
No.
I have no idea, but he's a part of it. So unless they give Connor someone to sit next to him from the radio side of things, EJ would go probably to the studio, which I think would be better for him, because how he was doing in that. I know it's just an alumni game, and he was fine, but you're not like that game. You're not watching it, taking it serious. So you're not really taking the broadcast, like how it's being broadcast, serious either.
Yeah.
When the games are meaningful, you want those guys giving the color. And he's not there yet, which is totally fine. Like he's brand new to this, if this is the route that he wants to go.
Yeah. And I mean, it was an addition. I this is kind of the way I was looking at it, but I mean, experience is experience. I mean, just like whenever I'm doing a podcast, it's experience is experience.
Yeah. I know. Like, and just I mean, everybody wants to go into a booth now, right? When they retire, and it doesn't always translate. I'm not saying it won't for him. I don't know. But would he go somewhere else and play? Like a lot of these guys just don't want to retire. They'll hold on, and they just want to squeeze out another year or two. Like Jack Johnson is continuing to do. Is that something for EJ? So would EJ just be like, no, like I finished my career with this team, which seem like it was going to be that way after the Cup, and then he goes to Buffalo, and then Philly, and then he's back here. So he got another opportunity to end his career in Colorado, and should he ride off into the sunset, John Elway style?
Yeah, and then Jackie was suggesting on the Mile High Hockey podcast that that he get a PTO, and I was like, that a 14-year veteran of the team, that's kind of insulting.
That is kind of a slap in the face.
Like, well, Jack Johnson got one, and I was like, no, but he got one to start,
right?
And then after that, they traded for him, and so they know what EJ's capable of, but at this point, I think he's done his time. If he hangs him up, he's a sure bet for number 6 in the rafters,
right?
And so, he's a fan favorite. I don't think he'd have any problem for hey, 2 years from now he'll be up in the rafters. Heck, I wouldn't be surprised they do it next year.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like, and you wonder if you get the feeling that whenever he hangs him up, he's going to have something to do with the Avalanche.
Oh yeah,
whether it's altitude, whether they give him some front office, cush job of with a fancy title, just so he's associated with the team. Who knows? But I don't know if this doing the alumni game was telling of where it might go for him. Maybe it is. And like you said, like they have the rosters full, the defensemen are full, even beyond the 6 that are likely going to be starting. You know what I mean? It's there's no more space for him.
Yeah, they've got too many right-handers to begin with, so he'd be a 4th right-hander on the defensive end. So
sometimes it's okay to just be like, we love you like crazy, but when it's time, it's time.
Yeah,
and I think it's time.
Unfortunately,
love
the guy to death, but
yeah, I mean,
unfortunately,
how many people were saying this after the Cup win in 22? Like, I'm saying right off, like John Elway now, a lot of people were saying do it back then. And he still played for a few more years.
And I think he was treating it that way because you see there, you search at Erik Johnson on Twitter, and that video of him just skating around by himself
Yeah.
on the rink.
Yep.
And that's what he was thinking. This could be my last time.
It's just tough to take the game away from these guys. And, but sometimes you got to know when to say when. And maybe it is now, at least for the Avs. We know it probably is for the Avs.
Yeah. For at least the start of the year.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, that's true. That's a good point. I just don't see him going away again. I don't know. Because it's not a money thing. It's not a money thing.
No.
So who knows? So
it's a roster thing.
Yeah, for the Avs, absolutely. And it's just not there.
Yeah.
So all right. That is going to wrap it up for today. So Brennan, thanks for joining all through the month of August. So why don't you throw out where people can follow along for you, find you?
You can find me as now the managing editor of Hockey Mountain High, with the associate editor as Evan Liu, and our Eagles writer as Savvy Rafkin. And then I also do some Eagles stuff over on Mile High Hockey.
Very nice. Give them a follow, everybody. So, all right, man. Thanks again for joining all month. And yeah, we're almost into September. And meaningful hockey is on the way. Toot that horn. All right.
Oh, yes.
All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in and making it your first listen of the day. That is always appreciated. We'll be back on Wednesday. Anything happens between now and then, we'll be talking about it on that episode. So make sure to tune in to that one. All right. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. And he is Brennan Vogt. I am Chris Maselli. This is the Locked On Avalanche podcast. And despite Brennan saying no, you have made it through another 24 hours. Sidney Crosby's that much closer to being Colorado Avalanche.
No.